The topic I'm going to discuss is the risk and uncertainty. So before starting the topic, we need to understand the basic meaning of risk and uncertainty. So the risk is the chance that an investment actually outcomes will different from the expected outcomes, while the term uncertainty is the lack of uncertainty about the certain events. So the main difference between the risk and uncertainty is that risk is measurable, while the uncertainty is not measurable or predictable. Basically, if we're talking about the meaning, that is, risk refers to the decision making situations under which all potential outcomes and their likelihoods of occurrence are known to the decision maker. So whatever the plans and policies are framed in the organization and for the purpose of making accurate decisions, the one must need to understand that what kind of risk factors and situations are involving in the decision making situations under which all the possible outcomes and all the number of alternatives are available. It is also known as or also helps in decision for the particular decision maker. While if we are talking about the second term, that is the uncertainty. Uncertainty refers to the situation under which either the outcomes or their probabilities of occurrence are unknown to the decision maker. Whenever the plans and policies are made by the specialist or the decision maker, he must need to understand that what are the possible outcomes of number of risk involved in the decision making. This term is known as risk factor. While if we are talking about the concept of uncertainty, under which the decision maker makes some kind of decisions for the particular period of time or a particular project period, that particular decisions are depend upon the probability of occurrence, and that probability of occurrence are unknown. When the occurrence is unknown, it refers to as uncertainty, that the particular situation either may be occurred or may be not occurred. There is a probability or there are very few chances of occurrence. So when the situation is unknown, when the probability of occurrence is unknown, this situation is known as uncertainty. So the basic difference between the risk and the uncertainty is risk involves that it is measurable, while if you are talking about uncertainty, it is not measurable or predictable. There are certain classifications of risk. The very first one is the financial risk and non-financial risk. The second one is pure and speculative risk, and the third one is fundamental and particular risk. So the very first point is the financial and non-financial risk. If we determine with these words, that is the financial and non-financial, the term financial includes that measured in the form of monetary terms. Financial risks are basically those risks where there is the outcome of a particular event and that particular event may involve the possible chances of loss, and that particular loss can be measured in the form of monetary terms or in the form of particular amount of money. The losses can be assessed and the proper money value can be given to those losses, while compensating the particular amount by an insurance company. The losses can be determined and assessed, and the proper value of money can be determined for compensation of that particular loss. There are some few examples that are covered in the financial loss, that is the material damage of any property that is arising of any event. The event may be the natural disasters, that is damage to a ship due to cyclone, or even the sinking of the ship due to cyclone. If the goods are moving from one place to another through shipment, then the material damage is happened or the loss is happened due to the natural cause, that is cyclone, or even the ship got sink due to the cyclone. Or the another example, we take it as the damage to the motor car due to the road accident, which may be a partial or total natural cause. So these all causes are related with the financial cost, as the concept of money is involved in this losses. So theft of any property, or which may be include the theft of motorcycle, motor car, machinery, or any household purpose or any household things, that may include the amount of cash. According to the next point, that is the loss of profit of a business due to fire damage the material property. If any activity that is performed within the organization and any kind of produced material that is may be destroyed due to the cause of fire, these all things are included under financial loss. And if we are talking about the non-financial loss means which doesn't include the loss in the form of monetary terms. These all may include the pandemics, that is floods and other weather events. These all includes other natural events which doesn't involve any kind of monetary loss. The next one is the pure risk and speculative risk. So the pure risk are those risks where the outcomes shall result in loss only or at the best a break-even situation. We cannot think about a gain and gain situation. Pure risk involves the condition in which the results are always unfavorable, when there is no chance of profits during the processing of any kind of activity. Pure risk is the those kind of risk in which the certain outcomes and their results are in the form of loss, or it is a situation when there is a gain and gain situation, and these kind of situations are always unfavorable situation, or maybe the same kind of situations, and that has remained without giving birth to a profits. There is no chance of occurrence of profit in the organization in the situation of pure risk. And if we are talking about the speculative risks, speculative risks are those kind of risks where there is a probability or there is a few possibility of gaining something or gaining the profits. At least there is intent to make the profit and no loss. Those activities are performed in such a manner that there is a occurrence of small amount of profits within the organization and gain some possibility of gains. So pure risk involves the outcomes which results in loss only. And if we are talking about the speculative risk, these risks are involved when there is a possibility of gains and profits. So investment in shares are the good example. If we took an example of shares, shares are the good example in which the pricing, marketing and forecasting and credit sales, these all things are involved to get the example of falling with the domains of speculations. The next risk is the fundamental risk. Fundamental risk are the risk that is mostly emanating from nature, and these are the risks that arise from the causes that are beyond the control of an individual or the group of individuals. Fundamental risk involve the risk that is created by nature, and these all kind of risks are not in the control of individual, that by adapting some kind of number of plans or by suffering from any kind of situation, these all problems and these all risk and losses are beyond the control of individual or group of individuals. So these losses arising out of such causes that may be in the dimensions and felt by the huge number of population and the society, or by the state although an individual may be the part of the catastrophe. There are some examples that involved, that is flood, cyclones, landscape, earthquake, volcano, tsunami, and there are some other factors that are caused by the nature or natural disaster. So according to this fundamental risk, according to the second point as we have discussed, that is that kind of loss that may be arising due to the cause of any catastrophic dimension. That catastrophic dimensions may include any kind of sudden loss or any kind of event that may include with any kind of damages or any kind of suffering or any kind of disaster that is created by nature. And these kind of losses that is created by nature will put a huge effect of number of population and on society and on by the state or by any individual. Single person is also get affected due to this catastrophic situations. So these kind of catastrophic situations may include the natural disasters, which may include floods, cyclones, landscape, earthquake, volcanic conditions, tsunami. These all natural disasters are covered under fundamental risk.